we out. We out here. Damn, I lost the first round. That's rough. Fucker flexing on the oh, that makes me so mad. Cool. I don't know why you hate me, bro. I don't know what the fuck I did. I don't wanna pity her, bro. Like, come on, bro. Whatever, man. Fuck you. Fuck you. Bro, they're trying to get me to pity the fucking... I don't want to do it.
a wonderful creation. Oh yes, everything belongs to me. Don't you even dare to run away from me. I'll get you. I will tear you down, conquer and claim everything that shines bright. For I will give it a new life.
I got what I needed.
Perfection. Give your light up and become my name.
Got it. Get off the chest, please. Hold. Ooh. I love this song. That's right. What? Oh god, bro. It's like the most stupid shit I've ever fucking heard. Gotta do some got my last sectors to do.
As we're looking through the fire, we can see just what we've done. Never about to give it up, and you'll never see me run. We won't go down till we win victory. We're fighting for a reason, we'll never stop until we're done. If you just can't keep up, I'll have to find someone who could. We will stand up. Oh.
Okay. But they do make you fight the monster. Okay. Damn, bro. I thought I could farm monsters. $312 stage. Well. Let's see what happens here. 840. I'm bored. YouTube.
I got big. Against Chase Brown and maybe win some games for them, but in Cleveland you don't have that, right? I said giving Kenny Pickett reps after you drafted Gabriel and Shador was fool's gold. I said what they should have did was told the team first, then the quarterback, then the media, we're going to alternate starts all year. No matter how, if Dylan plays great, if Shador plays great, because all this year is about is finding out, do we have a franchise quarterback in the building? I said that would have been the only way that this would have made sense. They decided not to do that, so now we got to address the monkey in the room. The incompetence of taking Dylan Gabriel in the third round was egregious. The incompetence of continuing to play Dylan Gabriel when you know in your heart of hearts he's not a better prospect than Shador Sanders is even more egregious.
So hold on. So let me. You played in this league, and you played in this under whether it's politics involved, whether it's good old boy ownership, whether it's whatever. You're gonna sit up here and tell me that Stefanski, to Smitty's point, is two-time Coach of the Year. Is now, but no. Is he now playing a political game not to play Shador? That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Okay, so let me ask another question.
I'm saying I think Stefanski, who I don't think is a great evaluator or developer of quarterbacks, even though I think he's a good.
But it's on record he didn't want to take both quarterbacks.
I know, and he's trying to die on the vine of saying in the third round that Dylan Gabriel's my guy.
But also, don't you? So you're going to sit up here and discredit his evaluation in practice every day? Obviously, if there was a huge.
Absolutely.
So you're saying Shador? So you're saying on our show that Shador's out here ripping it, and he's just not putting them in.
I am not saying that. I'm saying when you look at the resume of Kevin Stefanski, who's supposed to be an offensive guy, who should be the caretaker of the quarterback position in Cleveland. What has he done in the last decade as far as managing that position that will give him any credibility as far as what decisions he's making in 25?
See, to me, it sounds like
He got rid of Baker Mayfield. He gave Deshaun Jack Watson $250 guarantee. Deshaun looked like anything close to the quarterback we saw in Houston.
Well, I keep asking the same
Baker
question.
Baker looks like an MVP candidate.
But if he is better, to your point though, and everyone's point out there, and it's not just the prime sexuality take. If it's not that for the casual fan out here, then why isn't he beating out Dylan Gabriel? Like, why do we keep going around and around and around? If he's better, Stefanski, you just said, would play him. He's not playing him. Something's going on in practice. Something's going on in practice where I don't like what I see at practice. That's got to be happening.
You be trying to add too. You be trying to paint outside the lines. I said I don't trust Stefanski at all, and you come back and say I just said Stefanski would be playing him if he was practicing better. I don't know what the practice tape looked like for any of them. I haven't seen.
Obviously, something's going on.
I said coming into the draft, Shador was a better prospect than Gabriel.
But I'm saying, why isn't he starting now then?
Draft position. Why did they get rid of Baker Mayfield? Why couldn't they make
It's just gonna keep moving. It's just gonna keep moving around.
Why Deshaun Watson didn't look anything like the Houston Texans version of Deshaun Watson?
Oh, I'm not sold. I think MVPs and Coach of the Year are all popularity contests. I've been saying that. What I am gonna,
well, you trying to down the hill now. With
no. What I'm not gonna say is though that having guys that play for Stefanski tell me that he's out here just trying to fuck someone over. He ain't that guy either. So he's gonna play the best guy. So he's not sitting out here just saying, all right, Shador's balling like a motherfucker. We're just gonna keep him out. Like that's what y'all sound like. This is the NFL. This guy ain't gonna just fucking not play the guy if he's better.
I'm not
man.
agreeing with what you're saying.
There's no way that this guy's just gonna sit here and not play him if he's playing better. Oh fuck! It's when Smitty leaves. I'm telling you. For whatever reason, I don't know why.
Every time Smitty's T-Mobile Cricket, whatever he got, goes out, my sound goes out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Sean, you gotta understand that when you first hopped in today, there was no refreshing or anything, and your sound still didn't work. So I don't know if it's my fault.
I wasn't blaming you. I was saying from a technical standpoint. Stop being sensitive.
No, I wasn't blaming you either. I was just breaking down that it happened today, even before the refresh.
I just don't understand the take that Stefanski. So why doesn't Stefanski just walk in and resign then? Y'all saying he's just basically trying to fire himself. He don't want to play the kid because he's better than him, but I'm just gonna say, nah, you're better than him, but I'm not playing you. Like
that's very simple. If you resign, you forfeit all the money left on your contract.
Come on, man. We're making this a conspiracy. We're making this a conspiracy. Like, this is the same guy that took Deshaun Watson and paid him astronomical money. So now it's a conspiracy. He did that, but now he doesn't like Shador.
Let me ask you a question, JB. What do all young quarterbacks need in the offseason? What do they all need, no matter how talented they can be, to get a level of familiarity with the system they're going to be running? What do they need?
The first thing, continuity with the play caller.
Reps, right?
Yeah, continuity with the play caller, though, has to happen first. Look at Daniel Jones and your boy in Indy. Go ahead.
Watch how dysfunctional this is. And a lot of the reason that Daniel Jones, I think, looks like he looks is because Anthony Richardson was hurt for portions of the offseason. So Daniel was getting even more reps. It wasn't like he was the 2. He was the 1 for almost the entire offseason. Back to the Browns. Think about how many reps they gave Joe Flacco this offseason with the ones. And then you turn around and trade Joe Flacco within the first 4 weeks of the season. Think about how dysfunctional y'all have to be.
Oh, no, I'm with you.
Think about all those reps that Dillon and Shador could have got that Flacco took this offseason for y'all to decide in the first 4 weeks of the damn season, we're going to trade Joe Flacco for what, a 5th round pick? That's dysfunction at its highest level.
I'm with you. That has nothing to do with what we're discussing, though. We also know you can argue to your point. You can make your point even look better. Flacco's balling right now at an MVP rate. So
Right.
I'm with you. I don't believe in Stefanski and Cleveland organization.
What I was attacking was you can't be an astute evaluator of quarterback and think Dillon was a better prospect than Shador leading into that draft.
But how
So
much
the draft
pay?
Dillon, so the draft Dillon in the third, take Shador out of it. Let's say Shador Sanders wasn't in the draft. There's no way you can have a 3rd round draft grade on Dillon Gabriel. Not if you got any idea what the hell you're looking at.
But here's the thing. The draft obviously has come out. We saw the draft prior and after Dillon Gabriel's picks. They tried to get Jackson Dart. They know he couldn't get him. He went too early. So they did, in fairness, go after another quarterback because they knew Deshaun Watson was out this year, correct? So if I knew that, they had to take a quarterback
You already
at least one.
You had traded for Kenny Pickett.
I know.
His rookie deal.
Yeah, but Sean, you've dove into the GM world in this thing. You and Weddle both know this. You got to take a quarterback in the draft still. You're not going to take Kenny Pickett and Flacco and have an old ass groove there.
Not in the 3rd round, JB.
I agree. I'm with you on that. But I'm saying you're going to take a draft pick though, not just depending on Pickett and Flacco. It was obvious that they were going to use a couple of those guys, if not, which they did, but at least one for draft capital. They were going to trade Pickett at some point.
I'm just a little different, dog. When I go to the bar, I want the baddest thing in there. If I don't get it, I'm going to go on by myself. I'm very rarely gonna settle for a 5.
But there was no baddest guy. We already said this draft was horrible.
Well, then I don't take one. I get better around him. I get better at all the other
But now,
positions.
if you didn't take one, hindsight 2020, you didn't take a guy. You've already
You don't
signed
trade.
9. Sean, they signed 9 quarterbacks this year alone. Like, come on, man. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Nothing's adding up. Nothing. And,
So-
and it surely ain't saying that I'm just playing
So,
it. I'm
listen,
not playing this guy.
If I go and call the Philadelphia Eagles and ask them will they trade me Kenny Pickett, the only reason on God's green earth I would do something like that as a sitting GM of an NFL organization that does not have a starting quarterback because Deshaun Watson obviously is out with injury would be that I think Kenny Pickett can be my Sam Darnold, my Baker Mayfield, like one of these guys that has failed a couple of times and has figured it out, and I think he can come be our franchise quarterback. Otherwise, why on God's green earth would I ever go trade for Kenny Pickett?
Here's
So
why.
that starts the dysfunction.
Let's just break this down. Like,
Shit, Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel, they might all be the same age.
let's just break this down. If there's maybe there's some things that we don't know, like this. If the organization has a basically strong hold on them with a guy named Deshaun Watson and the dollar amount that they have to pay him, isn't it very, very either A, obvious or likely that they had to eat this year regardless because this guy's not even playing? They can't get rid of the contract. They tried to do multiple things multiple times. The kid is still here. Deshaun Watson is still their quarterback, Smitty. At the end of the day, we can talk all this shit you want. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes about the dollars that they have to pay this other dude. That's why they had 9 quarterbacks come through there.
Well,
So, like, why are we acting as if we are inside there and know what's going on? We don't.
They created that problem, so they got to deal with it. Let me.
I hear you, but I'm just saying it goes back to the Shador not playing thing.
Let me speak to Mr. Haslam for a second. Deshaun Watson is washed.
I've been saying that, but at the end of the day, Smitty, it doesn't watch the books. It doesn't watch the books, Smitty.
The book's still dirty, huh?
Yeah.
At one time, he was an elite caliber
Yeah.
prospect at quarterback. That's gone.
Yeah, but when all that shit came out,
He's
guess
gonna
what?
come-
There's only one Otani.
He's going to come back from a lower body injury, a severe one, when his greatest asset was his athleticism. He's never been a pocket quarterback, not even at Clemson, never at Houston Texans. He's not going to come back and become one. Newsflash to the rest of the NFL. Russell Wilson is washed. Like, I still don't understand why Pittsburgh went away from Justin Fields last year when Wilson got healthy. Their ceiling was higher with Fields than it was with Wilson. Then the Giants, for some unknown reason, maybe people just want to be around Sierra. They went and gave us a Baker Mayfield type contract. And I don't like, sometimes I don't know what these people are looking at when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks. Not to jump on Russ, but what in the hell did Russ do second half of the year for the Steelers that made the Giants think we're going to give him like bridge starting quarterback money? Like, man, what are they doing?
Well, you know why? Because at the end of the day, like, you're in the good old boy. You're done. You're tenured track, as a teacher would say. You're basically going to get your severance for life. You're in the league. You've been there. So am I going to go dabble with a new booty that I don't know, or am I and then still have to pay Russell his money regardless? He's getting paid from Denver still. Like, let's be honest. So why not use him? If I'm gonna use the guy. That's
But
what they do. You know that.
That's not applicable to the Giants. The Giants gave us new money.
They did. They probably looked at the first half of the Steelers season and put their brain focusing on that. You know, they start off pretty strong and they say, hey,
They were
let's bring
rolling
the
with
best out of
Fields.
them.
Not saying that Fields is like some elite current quarterback, but he's a better quarterback in 2025 for a team than Russ.
You think so? We forget Russ did throw over 400 yards though before he got benched. Like, quiet.
But let's just be honest though. Dayball took a quarterback though. Like I'm just saying, we're still
like
taking
Justin
quarterbacks. But I'm saying these guys are still taking quarterbacks in the draft. Is my point of this whole thing with Cleveland. They still were going to take a college kid. It doesn't matter if they had all these other guys. So like at the end of the day, all these guys are taking guys. They're going to take a quarterback if they don't have a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson or a guy that's their foundation.
I still think Cleveland should have stayed pat and drafted the rush in from Penn State and put him opposite Myles Garrett. People are not even talking about the fact they traded down and took Mason Taylor from Michigan, who I'm not saying he's
Yeah,
a
but
bad
we
player.
can't knock the Giants draft. They had a hell of a draft.
No, I'm talking about the Browns.
Yeah,
Remember,
yeah,
the Browns
yeah,
traded
yeah.
down.
Yeah,
Watch.
but
Hey, I'm gonna
Mason
send
Graham?
Mason Graham. I'm gonna send Bailey my pre-draft evaluation of Jackson Dart. I compared Jackson Dart to a Baker Mayfield comp. He's got the same kind of moxie, the same kind of game. That looks completely 100% accurate, doesn't it?
JB didn't like him, yeah. He
Jackson
liked
Dart,
him.
I had a late first round, early second round grade on Jackson Dart. I said his NFL comp to me was the current version of Baker Mayfield.
There it is.
He gave me the pre-call conversation. I go into UCSS fired up, and if you missed it, this is just a little snippet of what we was talking about.
Analytical approach that they were in lockstep. They picked dudes, told us from the analytical approach that they were in lockstep. They picked the players together. They choose the guys.
Well,
it
then
was
they
a
all
group,
go together.
There it is. It
All
was
right.
a group decision. The Easter Bunny did not pick the players. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry did.
Yeah.
Santa Claus didn't pick the players. So if you're sitting here saying, well, they're bad, who picked the bad players?
Yeah.
They did. Who coaches the bad players? Who puts the, you can't, this is what I told you 2 years ago. It's gonna get to a point where you can't take a guy, and Kevin's not gonna get separated to the side anymore. He's gonna have to own his mess. He's gonna, and if he wants to play Dylan, trot him out there. Keep explaining to us why he's playing, and he's gonna show us in real time, you don't know what you're talking about. Because you told us in the draft, this was your hand-picked quarterback. It is the exact reason Shedeur Sanders doesn't get reps, because he's going to give every opportunity for Dylan Gabriel to throw his way out of purgatory. It's the reason he dropped back 58 times against the Steelers. The jig is up, Kevin. We understand what it is. We get it. And when you don't have Quinshon Judkins to prop him up, you see what happens. The offense is terrible. Kevin Stefanski has been outcoached by all types of coaches. The offense is JV, high school, Lakewood, St. Ed's dump-offs.
Yeah, it's
That conversation from 3-4 years ago.
We had, so this is funny because a lot of people that may be new to the channel or new to how we've been talking about this, Darren, for 3 years with Kevin Stefanski. And I think it's just hit its crescendo. What do you make of the fact that Kevin Stefanski has seemed to be willing to die on this hill with Dylan Gabriel?
Let me not try to make it personal because I don't know the man, but he seems like a nepo baby. And I don't mean that disrespectful. I mean, people forget his father was a GM in the NBA. So to say he got his head coaching job on merit alone, that's a stretch. And so he's the fact that he's gonna down that altar is going to be a downfall. Fortunately, I did hear when Jason admitted that he might not take another coaching job if he were to get fired. And I'm glad you called him to task that, or Adam called him to task about him getting another head coaching job right away. But I just don't see it. I mean, and you are what your record says you are. Bill Parcells quoted that, ever so providently, back in the day. And so I know he's got the 2-time coach of the year stuff. I don't think that that's indicative. I just think it was a matter of circumstance, because the year he won it, shouldn't have won it. Should have been Andy Reid. Andy Reid, I think, was 4-2 that year. That they went to the playoffs and Kevin won it. And even though he didn't coach that team because he was home during COVID, Andy Reid should have got that award because they just won the Super Bowl. They were essentially 14-1, and they set the starters out the last game of the year against the Chargers, so they ended up the season 14-2.
Well, let's get to some more receipts. Let's look at, this is Dylan Gabriel's final scouting report from Pro Football Focus. Let's take a look at his weaknesses. Gabriel's measurables: height, weight, wingspan, hand, etc. All in the 35th percentile of the lower among quarterbacks. That's quite a barrier developing into a successful NFL signal caller. He'll be a significant disadvantage, and some teams may even be scared off drafting him on their boards. Now, let's see what his other weaknesses are. He turns down open downfield passing options. Gabriel's average downfield pass in 2024 travels 7.0 yards. That's 7th lowest in the FBS. Not Pac-12, Big Ten, Power 5. That is 7th lowest. That's the nature of Oregon's offense, right? But the difference between him and Bo Nix is that Bo Nix took advantage of downfield options. Gabriel's big time throw rate was 3, 0.2%. Is there a reason you don't see any big-time throws with Dylan Gabriel? He didn't make them in college. Let's keep it real. Bo Nix at least had a 4.0. It's not a large gap, but it's significant when there's plenty of times Gabriel could have taken deep shots. Me and Tyvus have broken it down on here on our members-only film review, and Tyvus eloquently points out times where, hey, that's a big-time throw. You need to throw. It's open. You got to let it go. I've played you with, what's the name of set? With Tommy Reese said, he's looking uncomfortable. We just got it. He just has to let it go. He wasn't skittish like this. We've done these shows before, right? He simply turned down far too many opportunities, either because he has hit his check down too early, sound familiar this year, or on passing attempts over 20 or more yards, he earned a PFF grade of 94.7, right? But guess what? He doesn't let it go. Summary. So all of the guy, Sean King puts it eloquently. He said, you took him in the top 100. Gabriel is an intriguing process with extensive college experience, dating back to 2019. He demonstrated excellent distribution skills in RPO and quick passing situations, right? Guess what? RPOs is college. The Browns don't run no RPOs. They actually are sitting here trying to tell you Shedeur Sanders was actually the RPO guy, the guy that didn't understand offense, right? So we'll just juxtapose the two. The size also led to Gabriel's conservative approach, as he frequently missed opportunities for big plays in 2024. For Gabriel to have a successful NFL career, he'll need to be in an offense that highlights his quick decision-making. His draft grade is a 4th or 5th rounder. Now, by the way, Darren, I had to cherry pick this to find a 4th or 5th round grade. Most of them were 6th or 7th or undrafted. Now, I quickly want to go and juxtapose it so we don't miss this with one Shedeur Sanders. Can we look at this? Let's look at his strengths. This is all PFF. This is the same publication. Now, when you look at Dylan Gabriel's, if you were to switch this Shedeur Sanders for Dylan Gabriel, don't it seem like they just switch their body? Accuracy. His biggest strength is his accuracy. Ball placement, catchability, he's among the best. PFF charts the ball placement on every throw made by college quarterbacks, and Sanders finished 2024 with the 3rd highest accuracy rate and the 5th lowest rate of uncatchable throws in FBS. Let that sink in. 2, avoiding turnovers. For the people that say he plays street ball and he just doesn't know how to get out the huddle on time, avoiding turnovers. Sanders handled the most dropbacks under pressure in FBS, nearly 20 more than the second most. He was under consistent pressure at Colorado, yet still avoided turnovers. Can't say the same about Dylan. His 1.3 turnover-worthy play percentage ranks 3rd best amongst draft-eligible quarterback. That figure rises only to 2.5% with pressure, placing him 8th in the class. Sanders does such a good job of not turning a bad play into a disaster when quarterbacks are constantly under duress. And then let's get to this part, because this debunks exactly what we were talking about with Albert Breer, or maybe because we actually watched the games, maybe because I saw him play. When Sanders plays on time within structure, he flashes high-level processing, not the street ball narrative. It led to the 3rd highest clean pocket PFF passing grade among draft-eligible quarterbacks. Colorado's offense, which was not Oregon's RPO offense, does not rely on a ton of RPOs and screens. Instead, asking Sanders to process a lot of pre-snap and post-snap. Now, Mary Kay, I'm sorry, but when you keep saying he needs to learn the terminology and getting out of the huddle, who are you hearing that from? Because obviously you didn't watch him in college. You didn't see these scouting reports, did you? Although the Buffalo's offensive line often couldn't hold up enough to allow him to get through his progressions, when he did have time, he was excellent. Even when he didn't have the time, he showed the ability to stand and deliver in crowded pockets. Sanders' 86.9 PFF passing rate when under pressure, with time to throw under 2.5 seconds, rated 3rd in college football this past season.
Maybe the most egregious pick in all of the 2025 draft was the Browns taking Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. There's no way you can evaluate the quarterback position and have him rated as a higher prospect than Shedeur Sanders. There's no way that you can be an astute quarterback evaluator and think he was worthy of an asset as valuable as a 3rd round pick. We got to get to the root of the problem here. I mean, that was an egregious draft pick, and the die on the vine is very disappointing. That was a terrible draft pick. Now, don't accelerate the mistake by continuing down the path that you never should have went down in the first place. It's time to go to Shador Sanders simply because he was a better prospect coming out of college than Dylan Gabriel.
And the thing about that is, that, and I know Dustin and them try to respond back. Well, he was drafted in the 5th round, and of course he said, well, Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round. You think Kings didn't get it wrong then?
Shador is better than Dylan Gabriel. We'll find out at some point.
Not maybe, Dustin. Little league, high school,
say whatever you want.
Early college, middle college, late college. Right here, October 27th of 2025. Full Sanders is better than Dylan Gabriel.
And I laughed in real time, so you can't get mad at me.
I cried laughing when I saw that.
Listen,
It gets frustrating because, and I think you talked about it either today or yesterday, and it had to been today because Kevin had his press conference yesterday. The fact now, one reason why I will say this, one reason why reporters couldn't push back is because it looks like, well, the presser that he has on Mondays is a Zoom presser, so you're not in the same.
Yeah.
So they can mute you after you ask your question, and of course she was able to quickly get a follow-up, but she couldn't go back and forth because it was a Zoom. They could just mute you and go on and not respond back to you. So I'll give them grace on the Monday presser, but the thing is, you got to push back on Kevin and his responses when you get face to face.
Maybe the most egregious pick.
Damn, son. Oh my god, I'm trying to blitz this shit. It's taking forever. Oh, this is fun. Oh, wow.
물결이 잔잔
Those motherfuckers, dude.
이제 누가 봐도 앱솔루트라고는 그래. 다 누가 받아준다냐?
나 잘 봐. 잘 봐.
응, 멋있더라. 강하고.
우리 이제 더 많은 일을 할 거고 더 많이 친 라피가 완벽해질 거야.
질 수 없겠네.
카운터스는 계속 지상 탐색 응원할게. 이 방주에서 지상 탐색 인원을 대폭 늘릴 예정인가. 인프라 수습도 거의 끝났고 첫 번째 지상 탐색 자체의 가치가 기능하는 하모니 큐브 한 번에 귀한 걸 많이 발견했잖아. 그래서 그렇게 된 거래. 지휘관이랑 같이 올라가지 않을 별도의 팀을 꾸린다거나 할지.
지휘관.
나 일단 방주에서 따로 좀 움직였. 마무리 시간이 좀 다시 지상에 올라갈 때까지 해결이 안 될지도. 뭔 소리야? 탈퇴는 막. 괜찮지? 응. 뒤처질 수 없으니까.
Oh God. I'm bored.
우와, 저 차는 처음.
고생 많았네.
무슨 생각을 그리 하고 있지?
Nah, I'll do it later. Fuck it.
우와, 진짜.
Fucking annoying. Come on, dude. Shit.
지시대로 움직일게요. 예이, 갑니다. 갈게요. 이동합니다.
이동하겠습니다. 이동하겠습니다. 여기 있어. 네. 지시대로 움직일게요. 이동합니다.
예.
갈게요.
예.
갈게요.
여기 있어.
나 불렀어요?
예. 이동합니다.
명령. 지시대로 움직일게요. 갈게요. 여기 있어. 이동할게.
이동할게.
예. 명령. 이동한다. 나 불렀어요? 예.
예. 여기 있어.
예. 갈게요. 여기 있어.
예. 예. 예.
예. 예. 갈게요.
이동합니다.
명령.
I guess I don't really have to dodge, it seems. We're chilling. Fucking hate this game.
갑니다. 예.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? Oh, okay.
이동합니다.
Wow, this is almost lazy.
이동하겠습니다. 이동할게.
예. 갈게요. 예.
여기 있어. 알았어. 예. 이동하겠습니다. 여기 있어.
예.
Ooh.
명령. 예. 여기 있어.
예.
여기 있어. 예. 예.
예.
이동할게. 여기 있어.
예.
나 불렀어요? 여기 있어.
예. 예.
명령. 예. 여기 있어. 나 불렀어요? 여기 있어. 예, 지시대로 움직인다. 명령. 이동한다. 예. 예. 예.
wish I could see what she did.
잘 찾으셨나요? 나 진짜 이러고 가? 형씨? 가면 쓰고 가도 돼? 전투? 아, 준비할게. 선생님, 오늘은 무슨 수업이야?
인카운터. 이곳인가? 메티스에서. 적기 발견. 공격합니다. 지치지 않습니다.
바람 따라 로망 따라 바람 따라 로망 따라 나쁜 물고기들을 쫓아내볼까?
이곳은 안전해 보여. 적기 발견. 공격합니다. 잘 다뤄보이겠어. 격수 확인. 무거워. 이런 거 있습니까?
물결이 잔잔해졌어. 이제 다음 이야기를 향해 헤엄쳐서 가볼까? 아프. 슬리퍼.
움직이지. 목표 지점으로 이동합니다.
총원 전투 위치로.
그러고 보니 둘이
The puzzles.
교전 개시. 지금 제 뒤로.
Ugh. I can't wait. I can't wait.